Hi, and welcome to another episode of The Worldly Ginger with me, your host, Taryn. I'll be touching on topics from hunting,
Let's go hunt,
to politics, I love politics, and much, much more. This is The Worldly Ginger. Hey, and thanks for tuning into the Worldly Ginger podcast. I'm Taryn, and a special guest here with me. His name's Joel. Joel's a good buddy of mine. Pretty awesome dude. He's always got something witty to say, so I thought I'd bring him on. Hey, Joel, how's it going?
Doing great.
Yeah?
Love being here.
Love being here. Joel is in beautiful Edmonton right now, and I'm down in Calgary. Glad you could be here with me, man. Tell me a little bit about you. I don't know, what you like to do, any hobbies, a little bit about your work background.
Well, right now my work background is I work in the records management field. I've been in this field for the last 7 years or so.
Gotcha.
But I do that strictly to pay the bills. My real passions lie in my countless hobbies and projects that I work on 24/7. My biggest passion in life is following I do a lot of investing. I follow the markets.
What kind of investments?
In particular, my bread and butter since the day I got into the markets has been the commodity markets, in particular gold.
Okay.
Gold is my go-to. I'm the gold king, but
I've heard some of your gold talk.
I'll dabble in other things as well: copper, uranium, oil, natural gas.
Some metals, man, and some natural gas. So like,
I'm a metals guy. Yeah.
So, but like, you would sell my farts is what we're talking about here, or like what kind of natural gases?
Nobody can sell your farts, man.
What kind of natural gases would you be interested in?
Oh, natural gas.
Yeah.
Well, the big boom coming up is the liquefied natural gas over in BC. Right now, natural gas is worth nothing. That's slowly changing, but what will change that going forward 5 years out in the future is when BC gets those liquid natural gas export plants ready and going. So there'll be a lot of money. BC is going to be the next Alberta, back when oil was booming, but they've got nat gas instead of oil. I mean, it's already picking up. Like Kitimat, BC, real estate prices are going through the roof already.
Sweet. Okay. Well, that's awesome. All right. And you got a podcast yourself going on now, or no?
Yeah, I also do my main YouTube channel right now is
you're YouTubing. Okay.
It's a YouTube-based podcast, and you can find me. The YouTube channel is called Party Game Network.
Party Game Network.
With no spaces, and I deal predominantly with retro gaming.
So retro like Mario and stuff like that.
Mario, Final Fantasy, all the classics.
I like Final Fantasy. That's a pretty sweet one.
Oh, the best. Nothing beats Final Fantasy. Talk about, gaming news, trends, things like that.
Sweet. And then you said you're kind of starting the podcast. I know we had talked a little bit before, me helping you kind of with that, try to get that going and up and running.
So future works coming up soon. I will be getting a YouTube podcast going where politics will be the main topic.
Where are you standing in this left versus right?
Well, the short version is that
Cliff notes, please.
is that SJWs will do very well to avoid my channel if they don't want to get triggered, and libtards who also don't want to get triggered should steer clear.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, we got it. All right.
There's no sugarcoating in my upcoming podcast. I'm going to say it like it is.
Tells it like it is, folks. Okay. Feisty Joel.
I'm a jack of all trades.
And
if it makes money, I'll do it.
Entrepreneurial mindset.
If somebody offers me $1, I'll do it.
Hey, there we go. I'll tell you guys a little bit about me here. I grew up on the East Coast and in Newfoundland, and then was in the military almost 8.5 years. Got posted out to Edmonton. Loved that. I went overseas in 2009. Saw a little bit of everything. Just kind of see the different aspects of war. And now I'm in school full time as a commercial pilot student. Yeah, loving every minute of it. So I enjoy that aspect. And then obviously with the military comes the excitement and adventure for the outdoors. So I've pretty much kind of done everything that you could possibly think of. Joel, you've got some hiking experiences and cool bear stories for us there. So,
you want me to start off with one?
I mean, you told me you had bear stories, so of course
Oh,
that's
I
the
got
first
plenty of
thing I
bear
want to
stories.
hear about.
A good story that happened to a friend of mine.
Okay.
Her name is. And you ever been to Waterton Park?
Yes, I have. Yeah,
You know, there's a lot of bears around there, right?
absolutely.
Well,
And for those of you that aren't quite sure where Waterton National Park is, that's down in the southwest of Alberta, right in the Rocky Mountains. So pretty thick bear country right there.
this friend of mine, for whatever reason, I guess she regularly would go out for little mini hikes in Waterton by herself,
Oh, okay. Oh,
which
that's
is not
gutsy.
necessarily advisable. But
No.
this particular day, she's out for a hike and she's just chilling and she's texting on her cell phone
Oh, wow.
as she's, chilling, enjoying the scenery. And I kid you not, she's on her cell phone. She's on the trail. And it just so happened she looked up from her cell phone at exactly the right moment. When she looked up, there was a bear right in front of her, like a few feet away.
Oh, wow.
And he stood up on his two legs to make himself look big, right?
Wait, were you there for this?
I wasn't there for this.
Oh, okay.
But
Continue
this is
the
legit.
story.
And she said, and had she not looked up, she would have bumped into the bear. She looked up and she just kind of panicked and just talked to him gently and said, "Oh, hello, Mr. Bear."
What?
Like exact words.
She just
"Oh, hello, Mr. Bear."
completely okay with it.
And then I asked her, like, "Well, then what did you do? Because I've heard that if you turn your back on a bear, he's going to think you're food and chase after you." And she said she turned to the left. So she didn't go backwards,
Right.
but she turned her back on the bear and just started walking off the trail into the deep forest. And she never looked back for 10 or 15 minutes.
That sounds ridiculous.
So she got incredibly lucky because that bear didn't follow her.
No, she's lying to you. You're telling me that a bumped into a bear and the bear didn't do anything. She just, oh, hey, Mr. Bear, I'm just going to turn around and walk this way now, and you're going to walk that way, okay? Bye, Mr. That's it.
That's what happened.
No. Okay. Okay. Anyways. Okay. So I have some exciting stuff going on. You can kind of see and behind me is a very open space. So I have come up with an idea for this new podcast, and I'm going to get a curtain rod, and I'm going to put the curtain rod across this open space, and then I'm going to get some soundproofing curtains to hang from the ceiling down.
A little podcast room, in other words.
Podcast room. Yeah, I'm going to make it into the studio. That's what and then I want you to come to the studio so you can sit and feel the velvet curtains with me.
You know what's great about that, though?
what's
Besides the velvet curtains? You can also put a green screen behind you at that point.
Ooh. See, you're thinking. We're always thinking about branding. See, this is good. I like this. This is good. This is why we're starting podcast channels. This is why we're working together, Joel. Something that I want the people listening and people that are just tuning in to know is why I'm starting this podcast is I want to connect with like-minded people, enjoy the outdoors and enjoy the hiking, fishing, camping, hunting. I'm really big into the hunting, although I haven't done much hunting, and this is actually really cool. Side note is this is going to be kind of my first real year of hunting, and I'm going to be using my podcast channel as a way for people to kind of follow along in my hunting progression.
I'd be more interested in hearing your bear hunting stories.
I am planning a bear hunt for the spring. Future episodes will be about a bear hunt. But another thing, what people might not know is that I've just had double knee surgery, so I'm actually homebound right now. Just trying to get better with some physiotherapy until I'm healthy enough that I can start exercising.
You're waiting to become mobile.
My end goal is to be able to do some really awesome hunts this year in some pretty thick woods up in the mountains. So, and learning at the same time. One of my goals with this podcast is to motivate people.
You need to be able to outrun those bears or you're not going to stand a chance out there.
Exactly. I got to get healthy again. I went from, being a fit guy from the army all the way to rugby, and then going into doing skeleton for Team Canada to, having some pretty bad knees. I had to get some surgeries and hopefully get back healthy enough that I can go and do some hunts, and I want to help hopefully inspire some people to, while they're listening to me, get to this point of health, that they'll be able to do the same thing or be inspired enough to do whatever goal they have from that inspiration.
You know what the easiest way to survive a bear attack is?
Oh, what's that?
Just got to outrun your friend.
Exactly. You just got to be faster than the guy beside you.
Yeah, exactly.
No, this will be a good test for me, because I'm coming from being injured enough that I couldn't really do much exercise, so pretty immobile and pretty sedentary, to a point where I have got my surgeries now, and I'm well enough to be able to get back to where, or it's possible now for me to get back to where I was before. So
right,
I'm excited about that. I'm also really excited about this channel, about just being able to talk about traveling, because traveling is huge for me. You know, I think that's a passion that a lot of people share. I know that you've been over to, I think, like Poland, maybe, or the Ukraine, Russia, and stuff like that.
I'm a big fan of East Europe, yeah.
Eastern Europe, yeah. So we can have some of that to share with people, you know, to maybe if they're interested in going on a trip. And if someone's listening out there and they have a question about a certain area and we've been there, maybe we can give you some insight as to what you can expect in those areas. I've done a lot of Southeast Asia, Europe as well, and Joel's done a lot of Eastern Europe, and I've also done a lot of the States. And then with me, with the military, I've done quite a bit of traveling as well, you know, pretty much all over the States and every province and territory in the country. I've been to, you know, Afghanistan, I've been to Dubai, I've been everywhere pretty much. If someone out there wants to ask a question about somewhere that I have some knowledge about, or I think that'd be a cool thing to do too.
I once road tripped down to New Jersey to go to the Six Flags park there. 12-hour road trip.
Ooh.
No, 12 or 13-hour road trip.
Where was this one?
In New Jersey.
Oh, in New Jersey. Okay.
I went from Ontario at the time, but
this is when you were living there. Okay.
I went there just to go to Six Flags. That was the only purpose, because they have the world's tallest roller coaster there.
What roller coaster is that?
It's called King Dakar.
Ooh.
King Dakar.
King Dakar.
King Dakar.
Okay.
It was overrated, to be honest.
So speaking of cool stuff, and I had this asterisk besides some stuff that I wrote. I listened to so many podcasts the last few days. Podcasts and like how-to podcasts about podcasting. Even today, I thought was so cool was learning about starting my own podcast, and just being able to like even help a little bit with you, for example, when we were setting up and I realized that you didn't have a headset on or mic where you were. And like one of the biggest things that I've listened to, and that's why I was laughing at, this is what I've been getting harped on for the last 2 days, is
holy crap,
microphone positioning, headphones. Like,
see, I had no idea.
Yeah. If that's all I can do is help you, Joel, with my podcast, job's done.
It was worth it.
That's it. That's all. So
I'm going to take those tips and put them into my retro gaming channel.
See? And we're already getting better results already. So I just thought that was cool. It's something that people that are listening, if they want to, if you're into starting your own podcast, by all means, ask me questions about, how I started my podcast. Even share experiences with us. We'd love to hear it. I think that's also really important, to being able to help people right off the bat. So the other cool thing was I got my intro all figured out, the music and all produced. Everyone that's been listening to my podcast so far already heard my intro. They already hopefully gave it 2 thumbs up. Joel, I got your input about it and some feedback from you as well. So I was just pretty excited about that as well, getting that done. And the website's already done. Head over to theworldlyginger.com, TheWorldlyGinger.com.
One of these days we could do a podcast on how to make a podcast.
I absolutely agree. We should start doing some how to make a podcasts for...
You can make a whole series on that.
Prospective podcasters, and we could definitely do a whole series on it. Another thing that I want to help do is, just kind of give my perspective, and Joel is going to be in on this quite a bit. I know you're pretty passionate about the economy and politics and stuff, so I know you'll be pretty eager to weigh in as well if anybody has questions or comments.
I'm very passionate about politics. I eat, sleep, and breathe politics
Absolutely. Makes the world go around, right?
And you know what? The world's a crazy place, and people need to be informed about what's going on.
They do. They need to be informed. And by all means, we're not the experts here. We're just giving our own opinions. Going on in the world right now are affecting us and how we feel. That's the beauty of democracy.
Oh, absolutely.
Conversation is key.
And I do want to mention kind of one thing. Escapism is great.
Right.
Everybody needs escapism, every now and then. Like, you can't just let the craziness of the world get you down, right?
Right.
But too much escapism is bad. I mean,
Right.
As the Roman Empire was crumbling, they were given circus and bread,
Absolutely.
to keep the people under control and to keep them not realizing what was actually crumbling around them.
Right. Yeah. No.
So too much escapism and not following the markets or the politics can backfire.
See, and this is why, Joel, I brought you on here. Ooh, overrated. Okay. No, I'm just kidding. No, that was well said. That was well said, and I think it's important that people are informed. So that's something that that they can expect from listening to my podcast. Just quality content. Once a week, and it's going to be every Friday. And that might change after a little while once I get into a good rhythm. And so on the first Friday and the third Friday of the month, we're going to do politics and current events. Second and fourth Fridays, we're going to be doing outdoors and travel. So I kind of want to break it up for the audiences so that gives them something different to listen to, so they're not drilled down with the same mundane topics, and there's something new for everyone to listen to kind of every week. I think that'll be good. What do you think, Joel?
I think it's a great idea. And if for some reason a particular viewer doesn't like one of the topics, then they just tune in every other week, or they skip whatever week that is.
Yeah, absolutely. In case anybody's wondering where that could be found, if you want to go to theworldlyginger.com, that's my website, or reach me on Twitter at the Worldly Ginge 1. So that's TheWorldlyGing, the number 1, and that's on Twitter. That's about sums up what people can hopefully expect on my podcast.
So next episode, I'm going to be focusing on fake news and American politics.
And I'm going to do Alberta-specific politics. And that can change. I might change it from Alberta to Canadian. Who knows? To be talking about British politics as well. I just see what happens in Alberta and what happens with our fearless Prime Minister in the next 2 weeks, and I'll decide from there. So, they consistently become intertwined regardless. Yeah, exactly. They're both up for election, so they're start patting each other on the back eventually here shortly. So, well, okay. I think that's a wrap, Joel. I'd like to definitely thank you for coming and helping me with this podcast. I think what we're going to be talking about will be fun, and there'll be a lot of information and a lot of interesting people coming on the show as well. And
I love being on the show, and I look forward to future episodes.
I'd like to thank our listeners for coming out and listening to our podcast. Stick around. It's only going to get better from here. If you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe. We really appreciate any and all love. Honestly, we hope you enjoyed yourself, and as much as we did. We hope you enjoyed yourself as much as we did. Don't forget to stay classy out there.